Welcome into the CHGO White Sox podcast, coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me, the full CHGO White Sox crew. That's Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. And the man in the middle is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You could follow him at EctorWall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. We're being produced today by Sarah.
Hi.
Hello. Sarah, what's your favorite Detroit-style pizza?
I'm afraid to say it now because Herb made fun of me.
Say it.
It's not my favorite, but it's what I've had the most of, and it's Getz Pizza.
Oh, okay. Hey, you were honest, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't give Sarah shit for that. And Connor already commenting, streaming CHGO on a cross-country road trip at a rest stop in Memphis. All people can talk about is Sean's positive comments about Reinsdorf's stadium deal. We'll let them know what they think in Amarillo. So we appreciate Connor, and he'll be commenting White Sox uniform numbers all throughout these beautiful states of America. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. Later on tonight, we got Blackhawks post game with Jay, Mario, and Greg. So make sure you are subscribed and tuning in. We got you covered for Bears, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox, etc. galore and more. AJ is commenting. He's a diehard. Make sure you're also heading over to allchgo.com. If you're not a diehard, you could sign up. You get a nice box full of a t-shirt of your choice. You get one every year as well. You get access to our CHGO Discord. You get access to diehard exclusive articles on the website. It's all fun. So go check out allchgo.com. Vinny.
Yes.
You had
Sean.
your second conversation with Paul Janish today.
True enough. Second Zoom. Yes.
Do you have butterflies?
No.
No.
The only thing that happened from my end was that so we still have our Christmas stuff up, including our tree. We have been lazy and not gotten around to taking it down, and I was called out for having it in the background of my Zoom. So
by Paul Janish?
Not by Paul Janish, by someone else. But yeah, so I had to take that. But yeah,
who bagged you for that? Was that
one of the White Sox wonderful media relations employees decided to rib me for still having my tree up, but. I deserve it. I could have taken it down by now. So, but yes, news from the minor leagues, where the White Sox today announced their entire player development staff for the upcoming season, or for the upcoming year, I guess you could say. Paul Janish is the obviously new director of player development, the new head of the farm. And he's only been on the job for about 2.5 months. I think he was introduced in early November, but it is something that he's already gotten to work on, and he's got quite a list of staff, including some new names. I think the headline from today's announcement is definitely that former White Sox closer Sergio Santos is back in the organization. He is the new manager at AA Birmingham. He spent the last 2 years managing at the lower levels of the Yankees minor league organization. Now he is the AA manager for the Chicago White Sox. So perhaps a rising star on the managerial front, perhaps. That's what they've said for a long time now about the White Sox AAA manager, Justin Jirschele, who has been working as a manager in the minor leagues for some time now, obviously back at AAA this year. And then, there's some other new names on there. They've got a new hitting coordinator in the minor leagues. If I can pull that up, that guy's name is Alan Zinter, who has been a hitting coach at a few other stops in Major League Baseball. I believe the Astros, Padres, and Reds. He will now be the minor league hitting coordinator for the White Sox. Kurt Hassler, as you remember, as the bullpen coach last year, is now going to be the assistant pitching coordinator, along with another former White Sox bullpen member, Donnie Veal. So those two are the assistant pitching coordinators. Matt Zaleski is the pitching coordinator. But yeah, a few other newer names in there. I believe there's a new pitching coach at Charlotte. The guy who was a member of the Rays organization, his name is R.C. Lichtenstein. So he was
good job. Goes well with pizza.
So he is the new pitching coach at Charlotte. But yeah, so some new faces, but a lot of the same ones. And basically, it's this is the group, this is the staff that the White Sox are going to be using to try and do what we've been talking about for a long time now, build some depth throughout the organization and get some homegrown players ready to contribute at the major league level. I mean, Paul Janish was asked about the usual suspects today, Colson Montgomery, Noah Schultz, Edgar Caro, but listen, there's a bunch of guys down there that, as this organization kind of gets a makeover from Chris Getz, are probably going to become part of the long-term planning. And you can never bank on certain guys panning out or not. That's how minor league baseball works. That's how prospects work. But these are the staff members that are going to be in charge of kind of molding that next generation of White Sox. And I think what the team certainly hopes and what the fans hope will be the next contending White Sox team will be made up of a lot of these guys.
I'm more of a Diet Right Luxembourg guy.
I don't get what you're
but I'm Chang.
RC done. RC.
Yes.
Royal Crown Liechtenstein.
Yes.
That's it?
Yeah, how's it?
All right.
I mean, good to have Sergio Santos back because he was on the Yankee staff last year, a winning staff. They won their division last year. And so hopefully that all White Sox minor league staffs last year and teams were horrible, as we have gone over before. So that is a big thing. I know they're more developmental based and more worried about that, but with that comes with wins. If you are developing them right, wins will come on with the minor league team. And so I hope that they have a focus on the development part and then getting dubs also, because it's just been dreadful, the White Sox minor league staff run by new general manager Chris Getz.
Well, Sergio Santos was actually asked that exact question, Herb, the whole idea that, hey, this is a guy who's had success. I hope I'm not wrong here, I think he won at won his league in each of the last 2 years or won a title of some fashion in each of those leagues in each of the last 2 years. And he said, hey, my job is not to win the South Atlantic League, or I'm sorry, the Southern League, rather, where Birmingham is playing. My job is not to win that. I'm trying to win a division for the White Sox with the players that I helped develop. And so certainly that's the right attitude. But he brought up what you said, which was, hey, if we're doing a good job of developing these guys and getting them to play the game the way that we want them to play it, then they'll win, because we're trying to teach them winning baseball. And the idea is that those things can go hand in hand. I'm not really a person who puts a lot of stock into the record of a minor league team, right? Because at the end of the day, you're trying to get a guy, to develop in a certain way that might actually work completely against you winning a baseball game, right? If you need to keep a pitcher in a little longer to work on his development, even if he's struggling out there, if you need to have on the fly in competitive games teaching moments of about a guy's hitting approach or get a guy to work out of a slump, at the major league level, that could get you benched because those teams are trying to win games and win divisions and win pennants. At the minor league level, you need that player to learn how to get out of that once he reaches the major league level. And so that could actually hinder your chances of winning. So I don't really put a lot of stock into the fact what you're talking about, they were so bad the teams were so bad. Okay, but tell me about the guys. And I think that we've seen the White Sox over the last several years, not just last year, but over the last several years, ranked pretty low in terms of farm system and stuff like that. That, to me, speaks more about the perhaps failings of the organization on that front, more so than the win-loss record of those teams down there. But I think, hearing from Sergio Santos, they hired a guy who gets it and gets exactly what you were just talking about and gets that idea that it's about developing guys and that will lead to wins, not necessarily developing guys to win that night's baseball game.
Herm Schneider's on LinkedIn. Did you guys know
That's just
that?
weird.
That's odd. No, sorry.
Why? Like, is he looking for another job? He's retired. He's like trainer emeritus.
How old is he?
Probably in his 70s.
Yeah, I mean, he retired back in 2018. I mean, Herm, just take it off. I could recognize your name and you're a team trainer. So, I think he's put in the work. But, hey, he's got a LinkedIn, staying active. Lance Brzdowski, who works over at Marquee, tweeted out the White Sox being bottom 5 in minor league baseball last year. They were 4th worst in expected weighted on base average, and then 6th worst in expected slugging in all of minor league baseball. And you're exactly right. I mean, I don't care if the Knights win 90 games. I don't know how many games you could possibly even win in the minor league baseball season. I would just like to see some development. It would just be great to see consistency, and it does feel like you look at the Guardians, you look at there was another team that I had more on my mind, but even the Dodgers, too. It just seems like every time they have somebody come up, they're ready to come up, they're ready to attack, they're ready to produce, they're
Cardinals,
ready to contribute.
Usually.
The Cardinals, I think, was the team I was thinking of. Except
Some guy
somehow they like Randy Rosarina and Adolis Garcia go. So it's like
too much. They have too much goodness. Like it's always some guy that you've never heard of, and it's like, oh, that guy. Oh, he's getting hit. Current White Sox Paul DeJong. When he came up, he was just hitting home runs immediately.
We're worried about Luis Gonzalez and Mike Rodolfo going over the Giants, and it's like, oh, don't worry, they just don't have any talent.
And Basabe, too.
Right, yeah, right. Basabe,
Just
too.
take all our badness and stick them in the outfield.
We need to see some development. We need to see some growth, and the only reason why I ended up finding Herb Schneider's LinkedIn was because I was looking up the hitting coach of AAA, who was a former White Sox minor leaguer, Cam Seitzer. Never made it to the major leagues, but bounced around, and after 2018, it's just stuck with the organization. Nicky Delmonico has done that too.
He's the hitting coach at AA, yes.
Do we like that?
I mean, that's what I was going to say.
Kinda like old guard.
It seems like they're going in a path of getting former major, not just former professional baseball players like the Seitzer guy is, but former major league players. And I know we're going to get to the article a little bit later, but the Grady Sizemore hiring, the Josh Barfield hiring, the Brian Bannister hiring,
Paul Janish
hiring. These are former Major League Baseball players. It's clear that Chris Getz and his staff believe that having somebody who actually played in the major leagues, not just professional baseball, in the major leagues, is a invaluable thing, and they're trying to find some market inefficiency where they can exploit it and have these guys explain, hey, this is how I did it back in the day. And all these guys seem like they have some type of belief in analytics. So they're not just old school, hey, baseball's this way and I'm old and I want to do it this way. So it seems like they have a clear path that they want to have major leaguers in front of their major leaguers to be guiding them.
Well, and Santos said some really interesting stuff, actually. You know, he's a guy who went through a position change. He started as a shortstop before becoming a relief pitcher, and he basically threw that out there immediately saying, well, yeah, I can relate to these guys, and I can relate to all of them because I've not only been a pitcher and had success at the major league level as a pitcher, but before that, I was a position player. And sometimes when you're talking to the guys who have just been hired, sometimes you get kind of probably some of the same answers that they gave in the job interview, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But I mean, he really kind of showed probably what he told Chris Getz and Paul Janish, which was, hey, I've done this before, and the success with the Yankees, absolutely, but here's a guy who maybe accomplishes that goal that they have of being able to relate, being able to get through to these guys and not just say, do it because I say so, but hey, we're going to find a way to talk to each and every single player here. So another thing that you keep hearing with this team is that whole play the game the right way thing. And listen, you can maybe roll your eyes at that notion, that you can't, you make fun of the TWTW or whatever, you're not going to find a stat column on certain parts of that on heart, or the other way when they say, hey, we've got to do the simple things and catch the ball and throw the ball and roll your eyes and go, yeah, you do need to catch the ball kind of thing. You can say all of that, but I'll say this, man, they're all on the same page. Everybody that you hear from with coming into this White Sox organization, or people who were here before Chris Getz took over as GM, be it Pedro Grifol or any number of the other staff, they are all saying that exact same thing. And I think that you are seeing an organization-wide desire to move into that direction. Again, it shows that there was a problem before, absolutely. But at the same time, I'm hearing a lot more unison from hearing the same thing from a lot of different people than before. Again, which was not to point out that before they weren't on the same page or anything like that, but it is striking this time around how every single person is saying a lot of the exact same stuff.
Well, do you think it is change, or do you think it's maybe the honeymoon phase? Like Chris has just started, and we haven't even played any baseball yet. we like Chris Getz because we played with him, or, you know, he seems like a nice guy and we can relate to him. Like, do you think this is just kind of the honeymoon stage of let's support Chris Getz in his first venture being a general manager?
No, I think it is clearly a new direction, and I think the people who need to buy in, chiefly his front office staff and his, you know, major league coaching staff and stuff like that, the people who need to buy in have bought in. And I think they've all been very complimentary about that vision that he has, and I think it is probably, we're finding out that it's this whole play a fundamental style of baseball, don't do all the bad stuff that these teams did the last 2 years. And whether that turns into wins and championships remains to be seen, and probably won't be seen for quite some time given the current state of the major league roster. But whether it's I don't think it's necessarily the honeymoon phase. I think it is a recognition of a new direction.
Yeah, I mean, for those coaches to push what Chris Getz wants, they initially have to believe or fake it until they make it. And then they have to teach that on to the players to go on with Chris's battle standard, because that's what he wants to do. It's obvious that if they're all in unison, this is coming from up top, and they want to filter down to the coaches, filter down to the players, and to have a one way to play White Sox baseball. I remember a couple of years ago they wanted to do the White Sox way, but it seemed like the White Sox way wasn't all together, and it wasn't, as you see on the field, conducive to winning. So hopefully if they're going from top to bottom, it's at least conducive to winning by picking up the ball and throwing it to first every once in a while and not making as many errors as they made last year. I like the message. Now put it into action.
It's just, I'll just say this. It's notable when you hear those same things from, whether it's the guy who Chris Getz hired to be his, you know, assistant GM, or the AA manager, and you're hearing the same thing all the way down throughout the organization. I mean, the thing that Chris Getz said did not exist prior to his taking over was an organizational identity. I mean, you're hearing from people in the minor leagues now talking about the same kind of things that he's talking about. That, to me, says that he's trying to implement an identity organization-wide, not just right at the top at the major league level.
Do you think that identity being professional defensive baseball?
I mean, that's part of it. I think what we keep, like I said, what we keep hearing, play the game the right way, you know, that probably is a bigger umbrella than just be good at defense, you know what I mean? But I think that's part of it, and I think fundamentals and, you know, for lack of a better term, you know, grit and hustle and all that kind of thing, like, that seems to me to probably be the thing that they're going for.
I got you. I guess that might just be a little bit thin, because it's like, oh, we'll play the game the right way. I guess I don't know who is trying to play it the wrong way.
I mean, they're not trying to
and
play
also,
wrong,
I think the biggest thing is, like, what we saw was guys would make issues, and it didn't feel like there was ever any accountability for, oh, hey, I made an error. What happens for making an error? What happens for making the wrong play?
Yeah, and I hope play the game the right way comes with accountability. As we said last year, the year before, that accountability was very lacking on the South Side. So, yes, if Pedro now this year realizes that he has to be the leader, starting with February 14th when the pitchers and catchers report, and then like 6 days later when the full squad reports, and has to do a fundamentals drill every single day to make sure that players do exactly what the White Sox want them to do. And it seems like that's going to be the focus, because as Vinny's talking about, everybody in the organization is saying these things, and how you do those things is drill those things and make sure they're ingrained into those players, veterans, young players, etc. And if they don't do it, it'll be easy to ship them off. Not saying some people who make real money, but I think that now Pedro realizes that he's the leader. He sets the standard for those players on the field, and so this year he's not looking for other people to lead. He's the guy, and if somebody else wants to step up, and so he doesn't have to do it through him just drilling it through that, and then he just another player just steps up and says, "Hey, I'm the leader on the field now. Pedro, you can pipe down." I think that will be a natural thing for the team wanting to happen, because only the players can play. The manager can say whatever he wants to say and drill you as much as you want, but it's up to the players to actually go out and execute the stuff. So I'm hoping that Pedro puts the hammer down. You don't have to necessarily be punitive, but you got to be drilling these things if that you want to be fundamentally sound. You got to keep on doing it until it's second nature for these guys. because it wasn't for Tim.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Any other thoughts from the Zoom meeting? The think tank. Did we bring up? I don't think I said the words think tank.
Yeah, so that was obviously a word used or a term thrown out there by one of our fellow reporters. No, I don't believe he said think tank, but Chris Getz previewed that this was going to happen when he talked to us last week, and indeed, this week it did happen. There was a hitting summit for the White Sox out in Arizona this week. It included, obviously, Pedro Grifol and everybody on the Major League staff, as well as the hitting coaches at every level of the minor leagues, all the way down to the Dominican Summer League, as well as some front office guys. Jim Thome was there. Tony La Russa was there, who's been advising, obviously. And really, it just seemed like a big, long conversation about how they're going to turn this offense around and how the pillars that they want to establish organization-wide when it comes to hitting. So I think a lot of it, according to Paul Janish, had to do with what Marcus Thames is bringing. A lot of it had to do with, some insight from the Hall of Fame guys that I just mentioned. But he said a lot of talk about situational hitting. So that's something that Chris Getz has brought up over and over again. And it really seems like that is part of the big strategy in terms of hitting is, hey, if there's one thing that they're going to be able to break through to these guys on, they need to get them to hit situationally, recognize the differences between all the different counts and all the different situations that they could get in to have more success and score more runs.
Was there more clarity if Pedro was involved? It says top executives. And like Marcus was mentioned.
Pedro was there, yeah.
Yeah, he said everybody was there.
Everybody. No, I know.
Everybody.
Just clarifying. I don't know, just making sure. All right.
Situational hitting. So hitting the other way.
Well, and hey, we could bring up Grady Sizemore, who will be the major league coach. There's an article in The Athletic talking about Grady Sizemore's transition from stud baseball player to being a dad and transitioning from player to next part of life. And last year he was a part of the Diamondbacks spring training system, making $15 an hour, poor Grady, but was able to connect with none other than Trace Thompson, flip Trace Thompson back into a major league player, and we kind of saw the Dodgers get a little bit more out of Trace Thompson than anyone else did in the kind of past of Trace Thompson's career. And Pedro, in that piece, said that he would be Grady Sizemore in lead of, I don't want to misquote what Pedro said, but Grady Sizemore going to help out with the bunting department.
Okay. Bunting, there's an entire department.
Yeah, that was basically what I. Do you think there is a department? Do you think like there's a mailbox that says bunting department? Do you think I could go
that'd be
mail
funny.
35th and Shield CC bunting department?
Yeah, that'd be funny if there was. But yeah.
I just kind of like what you mad about that?
I don't like bunting. No,
stop.
It's one of the worst things you can do in baseball.
But here's the thing. But you're taking
Zach Remillard do.
Not play for the White Sox. That'll be great.
Well, he isn't currently.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen. These situational hitting sometimes includes. Let's put it this way: the ability to bunt. You don't have to bunt, but they want people who are going to be able to do it if they deem it necessary.
Now, if they're bunting for hits, I'm in. Those are valuable. Just bunting a guy from first to second, that just makes me mad.
I don't know who's got the speed to bunt for a hit, but we'll see. I mean, I agree that you should be able to do it, but maybe it's very sparingly. I don't know who bunted the most in 2023, and I'll save you the pain. I won't Google it, but I'm assuming.
I guarantee it's Zach Remillard.
It's probably the White Sox. No, as a team.
You thought the White Sox bunted more than any other team last year?
I'm gonna check.
I don't remember them bunting that much. I remember Zach Remillard bunting a lot, but other than that.
Well, now, Sarah, do we have the 30 minutes thing?
60 minutes.
60? Is it 60? Wow.
Look at Sean. Look at Sean. On the day Sports Illustrated goes away, now Sean is cutting 60 minutes down to half an hour.
CBS didn't close.
Journalism is taking a hit today.
Sack bunt. Poor journalism. We'll talk about stuff in just a second. All right. I'll just count sack bunts because I can't actually count
just unsuccessful bunts.
I guess bunts for hits.
Most sacrifice bunts were
Miller did.
Diamondbacks.
Oh, the team that almost won the World Series.
Yeah. 36.
Do you know who number 2 was?
White Sox.
Yeah.
Would you say Oakland?
Oakland.
Oh,
Sox were 11. So
Sean, we do not have 16.
That sound. That's weird.
You played it off. Don't you have the
Are you talking
ticker?
about just the?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
That's
thinking
a 60
of the
minutes thing. So 60 minutes goes to commercial.
That's Jeopardy,
You're also
Sarah.
young,
Oh,
like
that's
me.
Jeopardy.
So
Okay.
these guys remember like there would be a piece on gorillas in Africa.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get this going to commercial and it'd be like
Leslie Stahl is talking to the people.
Yeah. Bill Belichick talks about his transitioning for a life after football. Next on 60 Minutes.
We used to have the Jeopardy sound though, but we recently cleaned out our computer, and I think we that might have
Probably
been
got-
something we got rid of.
Sued.
Do you know who won it the fewest times, Vinny?
Who bunted the fewest times? Would
Yeah.
it be the Texas Rangers?
It would be the Atlanta Braves,
Oh.
who hit a bunch of home runs
Right.
instead.
Yeah. Who
They were quite good.
Yeah.
pretty good idea to just swing for the fences.
They
All right.
had 2 bunts.
We'll wrap this
Two?
up.
2 sack
The whole
bunts.
year?
The whole year.
Wow.
They hit like 300 home runs. They were busy.
They're also really good. They don't need their players to bunt.
Very true. All right. Final thing before we hit an ad break and then go into some Sports Illustrated covers, as Vinny brought up. Sports Illustrated, the employees being letting know that they are being let go and that establishment will most likely be gone and dissolved. I don't know how to really say that any clearer. Just real quick before we wrap it up, though, Sergio Santos, in his last 18 games as a hitter in the Mexican Pacific League, as a shortstop, /315, 354, 512, an OPS of 875. So I think instead of the White Sox in 2008 signing Sergio Santos to transition him from being a shortstop to a pitcher, Sergio Santos should have been the first Shohei Ohtani.
He could have been in the MPL.
In the it was MXPL, the Mexican Pacific League. Want to let you know about our friends over at Ray CDJR. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, then we have some great news for you. Our partner at Ray Chrysler. Let me hit that Ray differently. Our partner at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake is starting their Ray Resolution with the Start Something New sales event. And you know what that means? You'll be able to shop incredible savings on new vehicles in stock because they want you to clear the lot to make room for brand new 2024 vehicles. For a limited time, get up to $9,000 off new Jeep models with dealer discount. And that's not all. Shop their last call on remaining 2023 Dodge Challenger and Charger models, including Hellcats, Scat Packs, and more. Dodge is the most powerful muscle car brand, so you don't want to miss out on their last call with over 20 Dodge muscle cars to choose from. At Ray CDGR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventory and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect, thanks to Ray's Price Promise. Don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big because Ray CDJR makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. Fans can get a free Fans can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr.com/service. That's raycdjr.com/service. But you have to schedule before January 31st. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963. And gentlemen, should we let people know about our friends over at Empire?
Yep.
588-2300 Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, so of course they have copycats, but Empire cannot be beaten on their quality, service, and speed, so competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire simply won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. Empire keeps shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection, and their philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. What they leave out of their selection is just as important as what they put in. Empire's product team exhaustively combs thousands of product samples each year to find the perfect styles, and you could check those styles out with their virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's easy. Just snap a picture and instantly see how new floors will look in your room. You could schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details. And again, you can schedule a free in-home estimate today, and listeners can receive a $350 off discount when you use promo code CHGO. See empiretoday.com. EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details. All right. Let's get into SI. Unfortunately, the employees at SI were being let known today by their parent company that the operation was folding, that they would be let go of their jobs. To commemorate SI, we thought, hey, why don't we look at some of the more famous Sports Illustrated covers? You guys got any thoughts on SI before we jump into the covers here? Because, we're more remembering moments that are captured in just the covers. But, any thoughts for young journalist, small J journalist Vinnie Duber growing up reading SI?
Listen, they came to the house. My dad got it when I was a really young kid, and then I subscribed, I think, during college, and would read it from time to time. Certainly that. After that is when the Blackhawks were good, and I remember that they would do some pretty good coverage around that. And so whenever there was a story about a Chicago team, that was always a very good reason to open it up. But really, as good as the publication as that was, you could really open it up any week any week about any team, and you'd be reading something entertaining and informative. So today's a sad day, and obviously for all the folks who still work there and continue to do great work. But yeah, over the years, nothing but the best from that magazine.
Yeah, I think about people like Frank DeFord, who was passed on, Tom Verducci, Lee Jenkins would write for SI. Just these are the people I used to grow up reading in SI, and initially reading the kids who were coming up. I forgot what that segment was called at the beginning of the and then
Facing the Crowd.
Yeah, Facing the Crowd, and then you would get the Rick Riley piece at the end. Just a quality magazine growing up. But I understand why magazines, especially sports magazines, are not as popular as they were when we were kids, because that was our information. That's how we got national things and stories to be, broadened to what we were at in Wheaton and in small areas like we were. But now the internet exists, and so it's probably hard to monetize that as they did back in the day. But of course, as a young boy, the SI swimsuit edition, mercy, I tell you what. Yes.
Do you want to tell us what?
You guys know
your
it.
Platform, Herb.
I mean.
Be a freak.
There's nothing better than the SI swimsuit edition as a young teenage boy.
Okay, all right.
I didn't say anything else. You said
you did.
It.
I didn't say anything.
More extra.
As someone who grew up with two older brothers, they also had subscriptions, and they would. I think my brother still has a stack of he has 50 that he keeps.
Tyra Banks?
And he has a whole. Yeah, he has when the
of Sports Illustrated or just the Sports Illustrated swimsuit ones.
All of it, but there's a mix of it.
It came with the subscription.
And then when the American national soccer team, the women's league, they all did a bunch of Sports Illustrateds. Like Hope Solo had a cover and Alex Morgan had a cover. This is more recent, obviously, but it was those I see it.
Yeah, those good times. SI.
It's like putting you on the spot.
And how do you think Justin Verlander knew who Kate Upton was? Otherwise, he's like, who is this lady?
An avid Sports Illustrated reader. You bring up Lee Jenkins. Why don't we go to the Mark Burley cover first? Because, that's the most iconic one for me. I was there. Thank you, Les Grobstein. But, yeah, Lee Jenkins wrote that piece. And, that's the moment. I think that's the final pitch. Jason Bartlett's up to bat. He'll ground out shortly to Alice Ramirez. Hawk will call him the wrong name as he makes the throw over to first base, and everyone will call their moms. I forget them. Daughters, sons, work co-workers. I don't know, but it was such a cool thing. I still have that, and I've protected that Sports Illustrated piece. There's just not a lot of physical media that we're going to be able to cherish and hoard in our houses for a long time. Maybe that's a good thing. The one positive about Sports Illustrated closing is hoarders will be helped. They won't be getting more things to hoard and keep in their house.
I'll tell you this. When I was a kid, I subscribed to Sports Illustrated for kids, right?
Yeah.
The kids magazine that they had at the time. And every I don't remember if it was weekly or monthly, but every issue, they would have cardboard perforated cards. So there was one page that you'd have 9 cards, and you could cut them out and tear them. And I had a stack that high of the cards from that, and then every April Fool's Day, the cards would be funny. They'd have like an April Fool's edition, and I think the one I always remember is it was like early Photoshop, so they would like be photoshopping silly things in there. The one I always remember was Paul Correa, who used to play for the Mighty Ducks. He was on the ice and he was following a line of actual ducks. On the ice.
Very nice.
But and then there would be a poster in every edition as well. And I once had the one wall of my bedroom as a kid just covered in those posters from Sports Illustrated for kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the best too, because you also got the baseball cards. Like there was the one like piece in the middle of Sports Illustrated Kids where you'd be able to pull it out. Oh,
sorry.
Sean was tuning me out. Obviously.
I got to be honest. Our boss sent me some things to look at, and I got.
Oh wait, that's for some Sports Illustrated swimsuit editions?
Yeah, he sent me all the Sports Illustrated PDFs.
That's you distracted.
No, yeah, Jake Flanagan. I'm gonna call him Jake Ferguson, the Cowboys tight end. Jake Flanagan sending me Sports Illustrated. He should be sending it to you. You're the one who brought up the swimsuit edition.
Good times.
All right, let's go into other covers though, because I mean, I think this was the best part of SI for me, because reading was difficult because I have ADHD. So if it doesn't hook me within the first 3 words,
You're out.
I'm out. But even like the 2009 March Madness cover where you got like every single
they did
all
that every
64
year.
teams. Yeah, that was the best. There was one kids one where it was like you find all the things and you get to circle them. It was great.
Like highlights?
Yeah, like highlights. And there was like a Tyler Hansborough and like a JJ Redick. It was the Diaper Dandy thing. I don't know. But this one I didn't know about. This was, I think Tanny was the first one who shared this today. The Frank Thomas and Ken Griffey Jr. Top Guns cover. Fairly cool. I don't know if you're a big Frank guy.
Like when we were kids, people used to say I looked like Frank, so I resented that. And so I had a Frank Thomas, either first or rookie card, and I traded in for a Ken Griffey Jr. first year card. At the time, I thought the Frank was more valuable than if we looked in the Beckett book or whatever it was, that the Frank was more valuable than Ken Griffey Jr. But since Ken was away and more of a superstar to me, I was like, get this Frank Thomas out of here. Give me that Ken Griffey Jr. And, they're both Hall of Famers. But, yeah, that's really cool to see those two guys at that time in the early 90s. I mean, those are probably the two premier hitters in the game. And, of course, Ken Griffey Jr. was doing with the glove, too. So, yeah, that's just a dope-ass cover. I saw that probably when I was a kid, but yeah, it's good to get some memories back there when you're thinking about, man, just good times when the White Sox used to be on top of the world and have one great superstar like Frank Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to look at that and you see a legend of the White Sox and then Frank Thomas.
But of course, number 17.
Of course, number 17. The other one I think that we had here was one that just kind of hurts. Baseball preview. It was 20s for the 20s. Right, it was the 20s that we didn't think that Chicago baseball would ever be knocked off its pedestal. Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras were on the north side. You got Jed Hoyer leading the charge now that Theo Epstein's gone. You got the White Sox with Eloy Jimenez, Tim Anderson, Luis Robert, Lucas Giolito, just tons and tons of talent that didn't pan out.
Look at those two guys have just fallen off since that cover.
Hey, at least one has a team.
And that's another thing. Sports Illustrated had a very famous jinx associated with it. So, like, if you're on the cover of Madden and if you're on the SI, there was an SI jinx that people didn't want to go on. That, of course, didn't cause them to be not good anymore because Javi subsequently signed a contract with the Detroit Tigers. He hasn't been good, but his money's still good. His bank account's great. Tim hasn't found a team as yet, but he's still grinding. But, man, that just makes me sad to bring up those people. Even Chris Bryant, one of my favorite players of all time, he has not been anything near what he used to be or where I thought he was going to be. So, yeah, looking at these things give me some nostalgia, but also the sads.
Yeah, I don't think the other ones are too sad, so you can pick yourself up a little bit after this.
There's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best.
This is the best one. I mean, Tim, too, he did have a couple All-Star appearances after it, so I don't know if the curse was too...
Not too much, yeah.
Too hexing of him. You say this is the best, Vinny. Dick Allen in the red pinstripes with the 15 juggling balls with a cig in his mouth.
Well, and two, like, you'll notice it's funny, too. We've seen all the people, everybody on social media has been posting covers all day and stuff like that. man, the difference in the design, right? Because once we got to like the 90s and into the 2000s, the text was just gigantic and covered up so much of the thing. This is just, and you know, they teased all the other little stories with little boxes on and everything.
Clean.
This is just picture, title, one word to tell you what the story is about, boom, and you just get to look at that phenomenal picture of Dick Allen. And the White Sox have a ton hanging up in the press box, dating all the way back to the 50s and stuff like that. And those old covers, they just look really good from a design standpoint, and they let the picture, you really kind of soak in the picture as opposed to. Sarah, I think if you want to put one up, there's one with Abreu on the cover, and look at all the words. The words are just everywhere. The giant stuff, all of the stuff above the title, Sports Illustrated. And I mean, it's a good layout. I'm not saying it's bad design work. I'm just saying the difference between the old ones and the more modern ones is stark, and for my money, I like the look of the older ones just to kind of emphasize that picture.
And to be fair too, I mean, maybe this is why the magazine went down. You look at this one with Abreu, Sports Illustrated is blocked. Can you go back to the Baez and Tim Anderson one? With this one, you could see that Sports Illustrated again blocked. Could you go to the Perfect Game one with Mark Burley? Again, the name Sports Illustrated blocked. People didn't know what they were reading.
They're like, Sports
Illustrated? Yeah, right.
What the hell is this?
So I get your point. I mean, you look at the Ken Griffey and Frank Thomas one, Sports Illustrated, unblocked. It's really that one is blocked. The one of Frank Thomas and the Hall of Fame one. I like this one because it is just clean. It's just Frank Thomas being big and huge, power and patience,
and just whiting out all the rest of the stuff in the background. I would have liked the actual picture in the background when he did that, because that's not like a pose for the pitcher. That's an actual.
It's an action shot.
Yeah. I've hit that ball. The ball has been hit, and just show me what's going on behind there.
No, but now but this is the Hall of Fame issue. So this is him being commemorated. This is him being, he's now a ghost. He's a baseball ghost.
Those shoes, too.
Yeah.
And then he ended up buying Field of Dreams.
And then he bought Field of Dreams.
He owns all the ghosts now.
They must play for him.
Who's your favorite ghost baseball player? But yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point. The covers did change, and, the kind of picture did speak for itself a little bit more rather than the graphics make it a little bit more poppy. My favorite too, it's White Sox where they did the Harry Chappis one, the smallest rookie when he just wasn't. He just wasn't even the smallest baseball player ever. Like, it was just a very odd story, odd cover.
I actually got that magazine from my future mother-in-law. She was just going through her old Sports Illustrated, and she said, "You probably would like this, Herb." And I have it still at my house. And it was that Harry Chappis one. I read the whole article. I was like, yeah, he wasn't a good baseball player at all. He was just really diminutive.
Was it a good read, though?
It was a good read, really good read. And I just zoomed in, 60 cents on the 1972 Sports Illustrated.
Nice.
Pocket change.
I had no idea about this for Harry Chappis. Chappis's professional baseball career began with barnstorming ex-Negro League Indianapolis Clowns, who had become racially integrated and developed more into an entertainment product than a competitive team. When he later made his major league debut, he became the final player and first white player to make the major leagues from a formerly member of the Negro Leagues. So
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Chappis, once on Sports Illustrated and the final Negro League player.
Well,
diminutive.
And another SI thing that for a while there was a big deal was they would name their sports person of the year.
Yeah.
And that was always like, we saw how much attention at the end of last year, Time Magazine still gets when this past year they named Taylor Swift and often they name political figures and stuff like that. But like, that's still something that makes a news headline. Time Magazine's person of the year this year is so-and-so. When Sports Illustrated named their sports person of the year, that would make headlines too. And you would see, if you were like watching SportsCenter or something, SportsCenter would make sure to, guess what? We got news today. Tom Brady or Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan were the sports person of the year. So that's another thing that has since gone by the wayside and certainly will be gone if the publication is gone too.
I'm just trying to look up maybe Chicagoans, like Chicago athletes who were named SI Sports People of the Year.
Michael Jordan, I would imagine, was named that at one point.
Jordan was named it in 1991. There's one more.
Walter Payton?
I just want to not Walter Payton.
In the 90s?
in the time of them naming SI Sports People of the Year from 2023 to 1954. There's one more.
In the whole history of it. In 70 years.
Yep.
Jesus.
91 was Jordan. There was one more. Chicago
You need to bring back
athlete.
the clock ticking again.
Is it a Cubs player?
Yeah. I mean,
Herb knows.
I was going to say.
Go ahead. Sammy. Sammy and
I was
McGuire
gonna
were
say
together.
that.
Yeah, right.
Sammy
Yeah.
Sosa
Yeah.
and McGuire.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like,
On
it
the
had to
cover
have been
with
a
them
Cub
in the
one.
togas. Yeah, right.
Oh, in the toga.
Yeah.
yeah. They were the little
Yeah,
Greek
they're like they
hats.
look like Greek gods kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's
That's a famous cover. Yeah.
That's a former White Sox.
Again,
Great.
though, former White Sox. Hey, that's true. 2 former White Sox have technically been the Sports Illustrated Person of the Year.
2 former White Sox minor leaguers.
That's true. I mean, Sammy was a professional. Michael made it on the cover in a White Sox uniform.
There you go.
He did.
There you go. All right.
Who was
Let's-
the last one that they named? Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Is going to be the
For last year?
For last year. Is the Sports Person of the Year.
2023.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
He probably did it when his playing career, too.
You got to get any guesses on who will be the 2024 Athlete of the Year?
Oh, like not from
We'll
Sports
take it over.
Illustrated
Yeah,
because
no,
it's gone?
we'll take it over. We're going to adopt it from.
Well, I
Sports
don't know.
Illustrated.
I think if I'm going to seriously answer that question, like the Olympics are going to happen.
Yeah.
It could be somebody that competes in the Olympics. I think, certainly I remember when Michael Phelps was named it. I don't know if he was named it multiple times or not, but usually when the Olympics come around, that's a good time because, everybody's attention is on that. And so I don't think it necessarily has to be the person who is the best, you know what I mean, to have it's probably somebody who should have impact as far as it can go. And so I don't know, but I would guess that maybe an Olympian would hold that title, but we have no idea what's going to happen, obviously.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it always runs the gambit. I mean, sometimes there's one person, sometimes there's multiple people. I mean, even part of it, like there was 2017 when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston. Jose Altuve won because part of his contributions to the 2017 Astros team, which is hilarious. And then J.J. Watt shared it with him because of his efforts as a humanitarian.
Charitable work, yeah.
To help out the city of Houston after Hurricane Harvey. So,
Do you know who has the most Sports Persons of the Year?
No.
It's not Michael Jordan.
No, he only has one.
He's a bum.
How many
don't know.
is the
Three.
most? Three.
Three
The
is
only
the most.
3-time winner of the
Tiger
Sports
Woods.
Illustrated.
Tiger Woods is 2-time winner.
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps, he's won it, but not only the only people who've won it multiple times: Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, Stephen Curry,
Tom
and LeBron James.
Oh, I forgot.
LeBron is the only 3-time winner.
Only 3-time winner.
I always forget about
So
him.
nobody won multiple times until the 90s, like the late 90s. Tiger Woods probably was, although he might have been in the 2000s too. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, the first multiple winner was Tiger Woods.
And they were giving
In 2000.
and they'd been giving it out since 1954.
I mean, theoretically, they
A
were
little
like
bit
probably
more.
like, we can't give it to Jordan every year. Let's call somebody else.
Well, yeah, they were a little bit more spread out too. I mean, the first of the there was a track and field guy. In 54, 56, there was a track and field guy. 58, there was a track and field guy. 59, there was a boxing guy. 60, there was a golfer. 64, there was a golfer. 66, there was a track and field guy. There was a hockey player. Like, I think they expanded the gamut of sports more in the 90s to the 50s. And I think it became more
mainstream.
Sports Center, mainstream.
Well, yeah,
like,
that's how.
for the 4
but
years
that's how
of-
sports evolved too. In general, like
Yeah, right.
back in the 50s and 60s, people cared about boxing a lot. You know what I
Hell.
mean? Everybody in the country loved baseball. Where now we're talking about how are they going to get any kids to watch baseball on TikTok? So
I mean, think about like who won the last decathlon. You don't know.
Nope.
But in the 70s, Bruce Jenner. We knew Bruce Jenner's name, and it rang true all the time because we were very interested in American winning the decathlon.
But I think that's also because like those sports have kind of capped themselves. Like, I don't know, the first guy who ever won the Sports Person of the Year ran the first sub 4-minute mile.
wow,
Roger Bannister?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't
Brian
have it
Bannister?
pulled up. Brian Bannister. Floyd, I think is his.
We're at a 4-minute mile.
It is Roger
Sub
Bannister.
4.
That's insane.
he's not the guy that won it. won the award.
But like, what's the
he was
number?
the one that won the award, and he ran the first sub 4-minute mile.
But like, what's the shortest mile? Like, it's not like they're now sub 2. Like, the human body has limitations, at least when it comes to like track and
60
field.
seconds? I'm trying to think, or like a minute and a half. How do you run a mile in a minute and a half?
Quickly.
Gotta ask.
Thanks, Vinny. I think I
mile?
would start like throwing up and bleeding internally.
I don't know. So what? This is probably great radio. They also just kind of stopped breaking the record. So when was that? 54?
It looks like
I can't even find it. This
in
is all
1999, the fastest mile was 3 minutes and 43 seconds.
Woo! None of this makes sense to me.
Fast.
Yeah.
I can't drive my car that fast.
So you said the most recent one was 3 minutes 43 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that was 1999.
1999. Yeah.
So it's just like no one's breaking that record.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
No one's probably trying to either.
Right.
It's like, what do I want to die? Fuck, that guy just quick.
You did it.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Good job, brother. You have it for your life.
Do you know where LeBron James went to become 3-time Sports Person of the Year from Sports Illustrated?
No, Sean, but I think you're gonna tell me.
There's the main building in downtown.
Downtown in Lincoln Park. Yeah.
Midtown Athletic Club, but across the street they got the basketball gym.
They do.
That's where he was grinding each and every day.
I mean, I guess so, because Midtown, they have 4 Chicagoland locations, Sean. As you said, the one club and hotel in the middle of Bucktown and Lincoln Park, also one in northwest suburbs, that is in Palatine, Bannockburn in the North Shore, and Willowbrook in the southwest suburbs. And apparently we are going to be broadcasting, I don't know, I think CHGO Bears and CHGO Show will be broadcasting live from the Bannockburn event out there. So if you who are listening, watching, want to go, you can go. You just got to sign a waiver to get into the club. Just, make sure that you're good to go. But you can go that day that we are going, and details to follow on the day that we are going to the North Shore in Bannockburn. But the one in Palatine has launched a multi-million-dollar transformation of the club, which will be complete in early 2024. Midtown is offering no initiation fees this January for their Bannockburn, Palatine, and Willowbrook locations. So go there now, because there's something for everyone. Whether you're a single person, families with kids, people looking for lifestyle changes, or holistic wellness, because Midtown Chicago is the nicest fitness club that I've ever been, because they have super luxe locker rooms, wet and dry saunas with premium amenities, amazing outdoor, indoor pools and hot tubs, a collection of boutique fitness studios with more than 100 classes per week. This isn't gym quality. Its spaces are boutique quality. You could either be in the HIIT room, which is called the Arena, or if you want to do some yoga, they have a place called Samadhi. The place that I like, the group exercise place, is the theater. And there's much more than that. But Midtown, as Sean says, they're known for many things. A basketball court, working out facility, spa. But the most thing they're known for is their tennis courts, because they're the best tennis courts and programming in the sport. Midtown has indoor, outdoor tennis, pickleball, paddleball tennis, USTA professional quality all the way. Head on over to midtown.com/CHGO and find out more to tour the Midtown Athletic Club nearest you. And when we're there, they said all the players that you know of now, the ones of the past, have played at Midtown, because they hold this young person's tournament there at Midtown Chicago. So the Pete Samprases of the world,
Serena Venus Williams?
yeah, young players, yeah. They have rackets of these people. Rod Laver, who's an Australian, they have one of his rackets. So yes, go to Midtown right now and enjoy yourselves. It's luxurious.
We also want to let you know about our friends over at Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. I saw that Ron White is apparently a hot ticket out in the Hard Rock Casino in Northwest Indiana.
Ron White.
Yeah, Ron White. There's also Rolling Stones. They're coming in July. You going, Vinny?
We'll see.
Maybe.
Maybe if I can get a good deal on Game Time.
I think
Tickets aren't. I thought tickets would be more expensive. I went to Game Time, and honestly, kind of affordable for Rolling Stones.
Wow.
Might be last chance to see them. You get
is.
the Jumping Jack Flash package. But as you can see, as Sarah's pulling up, you get some flash deals with Game Time. You also get a best deal that is the the blue verified badge right there. They got killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seats, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying, and you get to see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. There's a Hawks game tonight. They playing, yeah, oh yeah, that's what you just showed. Yeah, so they go see Islanders and Hawks tonight. If you are looking for something to do tonight, take the guesswork out of buying with our friends over at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, redeem code CHGO when you create an account. That's CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Also want to let you know about our friends over at Circa Sportsbook. They have tight money line splits, a low hold model. Games will strive to be a -110 split on Circa Sports menu, unlike other sportsbooks, which may use a -115 or -120 split. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets like futures and golf tournaments, especially compared to other books, which allows them to keep these tight money line splits. Circa also doesn't limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. And if you run into an issue with Circa Sportsbook, there are real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books who use chatbots. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app. That's circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. You can download the world's largest sportsbook and have it at your fingertips. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or somebody you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537, text GMB 833-234, or visit areyoureallywinning.com. All right, would you rather talk about Josh Hader or the 7 baseball mascots in the Mascot Hall of Fame?
The 7 baseball mascots in the Mascot Hall of Fame. The Philly Fanatic.
Okay.
Southpaw is
Correct.
in there.
Yeah.
What?
He is Southpaw, so you would know he's there. He got introduced.
These are active mascots?
There's 6 active mascots. I cannot find retired mascots, and I'm looking for strictly MLB mascots.
Sure.
So you got 2 of the 6 MLB mascots.
Let's see. I'm going to go with... See, I know who I'd put in my Mascot Hall of Fame. Billy the Marlin.
No, Billy the Marlin.
Is Mr. Met in there?
Mr. Met is in there.
Mr. Met?
Mr.
Okay.
Met is in there.
What about Wally the Green Monster?
No. We got our green quota with the Fanatic and Southpaw.
How about my guy Mariner Moose?
No Mariner Moose.
TC Bear?
No DC Bear.
The San Diego Chicken.
No.
Is not a team.
Yeah.
He's not a baseball mascot.
San Diego
Yeah.
Chicken is in the Hall of Fame, but he's independently in.
What about... Oh, no, he's also green. You said no more green.
There are 3 more, and they're all AL.
Yankees don't have one.
Nope.
Not Ace from the Blue Jays.
Not Ace from the Blue Jays.
What about the Baltimore Oriole?
The Oriole Bird?
Yeah.
That's the name of it. It's the Oriole Bird.
He's
it's
in
somehow
there?
a Hall of Famer.
He's in there?
Yeah.
All right.
The Oriole Bird is such a weird... You could...
How about...
what about
the elephant?
Oh, yeah, Stomper.
Stomper? No.
Oh, garbage. Burn this place down.
This is ridiculous.
Burn it down.
That's a bigger joke than when A-Rod won't get into the Hall of Fame.
Hey, I agree.
Burn
Next
this
week.
place down immediately.
There's not that many American League teams left. We can go through them. Let's say what's the Tigers one? Stripes, paws, something like that.
Let me look it up.
Oh, Slugger.
Hold on.
Slugger.
The Tigers mascot is Paws.
Paws.
Yeah, Paws is not in
No.
there.
Slugger's not there?
Slugger's in there.
Slugger.
Yes.
Slugger is in there.
All right.
One more.
The Rangers horse.
Nope.
How about the Guardian/Indians, whatever the fuck that is?
Slider.
Slider is in there.
Slider
is the last one.
God, they just let anybody in.
They kind of do. They labeled him as unique. Philly Fanatic was unique. Slider was unique. Southpaw unique. I think Oriole Bird got in because it's a costume character, like it's a good costume design. Same with Slugger, and Mr. Met has ball head.
I would only put 2 of those in my Mascot Hall of Fame.
Fanatic.
The Fanatic and Mr. Met.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Southpaw.
Not right away. Not first class.
Okay. All right. That's
He's
fair.
only been around
We gotta
for
get
20
Stomper.
years.
We gotta get Stomper in there. Gotta get Billy Marlin in there.
What other Mariner Moose drives a motorcycle.
So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
What about the Swinging Friar?
Oh my God,
He's pretty. I mean, that's
awesome.
pretty dynamic.
And my favorite all-time
costume
mascot,
design.
of course, Crazy Crab.
Crazy Crab for the Giants. They should put like the I've never gone to the Mascot Hall of Fame, but like
We can go. Isn't it in Hammond or something?
I think so. The curse zoned. We could put like all the mascots that were just canceled in one spot. And
Ribby and Rhubarb.
Yeah, you can get what's it called? Crazy Crab.
Crazy Crab definitely should be there.
All right, that's going to do it. We could talk about Josh Hader, but it's 4:30 on a Friday, so let's wrap this up. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. We got 30 people watching, but only 15 likes. We'd appreciate you getting us up to that very, very important Nick Swisher number of 30, so hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to our CHGO Sports YouTube channel, and thank you to Sarah for producing our show. We will talk to you next week at 3:30. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.